We are using the deconstructive literary theory to analyze The Great Gatsby. On January 16, 1919, the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution was passed, prohibiting the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages in the United States. This was known as Prohibition. It lasted until December 5, 1933, when it was repealed by the 21st Amendment.
Prohibition was a complete failure. With it came the rise of speakeasies and bootleggers, making illegal alcohol easily accessible, especially in wealthy urban areas like New York. Because its illegality caused alcohol's value to increase, the majority of the people who took part in bootlegging were of the upper class, people like Gatsby.
When analyzed through a deconstructive lens, the events that take place in The Great Gatsby become questionable because of the consumption of alcohol and the mental state of the narrator.
The scene in Tom and Myrtle's apartment in New York is the first time we see Nick partaking in the excessive drinking and partying of the 1920s. These quotes reveal that when Nick is under the influence of alcohol, the whiskey distorted things, and everything that happened had a dim, hazy cast over it. This means that his memories are not 100% reliable. Since the entire book is based off his memories, we therefore cannot fully trust any of his accounts of the events that took place in the time frame of the story. In other words, the entire book is contentious.
We see our narrator under the influence of alcohol again at Gatsby's party. Nick says that after he drank 2 fingerbowls of champagne, the scene changed before his eyes into something significant, elemental, and profound. Nick is telling us that drinking alcohol actually had the effect of changing his perspective of the scene. Therefore, his recollection of the events that followed may not be accurate.
Prohibition had virtually no effect on the upper class. Gatsby made his fortune by distributing illegal alcohol to the wealthy. Bootleggers like Gatsby made alcohol extremely easily accessible to the upper class, and since nearly all of the characters in The Great Gatsby are of the upper class, alcohol was always readily available to all of them.
The lunch at the Buchanan's house and the event that follow are the most crucial and intense scenes in the entire book. The characters drank down nervous gaiety with the cold ale as soon as they arrived at the Buchanan's house. The tension in the room was undeniable since all of the characters were nervous for the upcoming confrontation, and they used alcohol to deal with these emotions right from the start. The scene started to get more intense when they got to Manhattan, an intensity that perhaps could have been avoided or at least subdued if the characters had not been under the influence of alcohol.
After Gatsby's death, Nick's mental health declines. The text alludes to probable mental concerns like grief, anxiety, depression, or even something as serious as post-traumatic stress disorder. Regardless, it's clear that Nick is emotionally unstable following Gatsby's death, and since he was narrating the story following Gatsby's death, his account of the events that happened during the time that he knew Gatsby may not be completely reliable.
In conclusion, the accuracy of Nick's accounts of the events that take place during The Great Gatsby is questionable because excessive drinking and serious mental health concerns can alter or suppress key memories. Nick is narrating the story by recounting his memories of the events, but if his memories are unreliable, then his narration is also unreliable. Without a reliable narrator, we can never be sure of what really happened in The Great Gatsby.